I don't hear myself through my headphones. Yes, man. Like, I feel real good about this right now.
Pay attention, because you are now listening to Permission to Speak Freely.
Hey, what's going on, world? Hey, we back, man. We've been out for a little while.
It's been a minute.
Doing what we do.
It's been a minute.
We got, we still got jobs to do. I mean, I know you guys know that we still got jobs, but hey, we going to get these episodes out.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, so this is episode 8 of Permission to Speak Freely.
Yep.
And I'm Damon.
I'm Damo.
All right, man. Let's get this thing started, man. So we always gonna kick it off like this, man. We pretty excited about reaching 1,000 downloads, man.
Yeah,
that's a big deal, man.
Yeah.
So to everybody out there that took a download, man, thank you guys, man. Keep pushing, keep sharing, and man, let's get it out to the listeners, man.
Hey, so we've passed up 1,000 like really shortly after we hit it. Even after we sent that out, we were already past 1,000. So we are well on our way to 2,000, man. We just got to get some episodes, some episodes done. You know what I'm saying? So I really do appreciate everybody that's been supporting, everybody that's been on my ass about episode 8. So here it is. So, we'll see how that works out.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely.
Hey, but let's talk about the obvious thing, right? Because if somebody listening right now, then they're not going to hear us the same. We're going to sound different, right? We got the crisp, pristine audio. We usually got the mics hooked up. That's not going to be the same. And if somebody watching us on YouTube, they normally probably see us in the same room, of course, with the sneeze guard in between us. None of that's happening right now. That's not the same. We doing remote recording. Why?
Remote recording, man. Hey, so with this remote recording, I mean, you're right, man. We may not sound the same, might not be in the same room and all that stuff, but with us doing it like this, it's the future, man. Right? Because you about to go to a different location and do bigger things where you about to go. So this is how we're gonna keep, getting these episodes out to people and out to the listeners, man. So this is how we're gonna be doing it probably from now on. We're gonna try to, we might, do some but this is what we lean into. This is what we going with this podcast.
Yeah, what's gonna happen is more guests. We do plan on doing some lives in the future. And if it is any audio problems right now, we're not hooked up to any mics or any headphones. That shouldn't persist though. At some point we should have clearer audio. We should have mics and headphones or something, but we just couldn't wait anymore. I mean, I couldn't wait. I had to, get ready to get this one out. So apologies if the audio isn't what it normally is when you listen to Permission to Speak Freely.
Yeah, most definitely, man. We'll get it all figured out, man. No doubt we'll get it figured out. And so, man, what's going on with you, man? What you been up to?
Well, today, right now, if you hear like music in the background, my wife's grandfather passed away. He passed away on the 4th of December, 3 days before my birthday, and they're having a ceremony today. So she's doing a whole the YouTube live streaming his funeral ceremony. So I actually had to leave her to come up here and do this. So we had a really good moment this morning. I ain't gonna get too deep into it, but she's so strong, man. She does so much. She holds it together, so much. This morning was a tough one for her. I think it was the reality of the fact that, it's the funeral. So I went and got her some ice cream, and hopefully after this, me and her can spend a little bit of time before I got duty tomorrow. So much love that.
Condolences, man. I know it's a big deal, man.
Yeah, rest in peace, Grandpa. Percival Bailey. So rest in peace, Percival Bailey.
Most definitely, man. Okay. So some of the things that I've been up to a little bit, man.
Let's talk about
I've been doing practicing a lot of golf, man. For one thing, I want to, let the world know, man, my golf game is getting strong, man. And if anybody want to come out, in San Diego or whatever, let me know, man. My golf game getting a little strong, man. But
what's that shore duty?
That's that short duty, man. That's
Yeah.
short duty life, man.
Yo, you still going to
Oh,
work?
Yeah, man. I go to work, man. I go in and check my email and stuff, and go from there, man, and see what happens during the day. But the biggest thing that I've been really doing and very, very excited about is Chief season, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Initiation, man. So
Hey,
first off,
before you get
I
into
want to.
that, right? I don't even want you to
Okay.
say the name of your job because I feel like at this point they might get in trouble all the time. You be having you might get somebody in trouble. We might get we might get that command in trouble, man.
Hey, man. First off, I don't have that much time off, guys. That's what you guys know. I don't have that much time off. I want to clear that up. I want to clear it.
How the season going?
Huh?
How the season going?
Oh man, the season is what it is, man. It's most definitely COVID driven.
Right, yeah.
Right. There's no doubt about that. It's COVID driven. But we trying our best to get the best out of it. But not even to talk about that portion of it. I want to talk more about right now on how excited I was to get phone calls from people I serve with or people who know me or know about me or whatever. These chief selects, hitting me up. They won't charge. They want me to give them some advice. Man, that's the type of stuff that I always, enjoy about, being a chief right there, man. Giving back, talking to people, motivating them to push on, even though they think it's like no end to it. And stuff like that, man. That's what I get a kick out and love doing, man. So everybody who reached out to me, man, I hope I gave you guys some advice or something that can keep you going and keep you pushing and keep grinding. So you guys doing a good job out there.
Yeah, same here. Everybody that reached out. First of all, I appreciate all our moments together. I learned from them, and I hope you learned from them as well. And I owe you some stuff, so I'll take care of you guys when the time comes. I got a question about the season, though, man. You know how LeBron just recently said that he won the hardest 2 championships. When he was down 3-1 against Golden State, and then the bubble championship.
Yeah.
So we probably gonna have some chief selects that's like this season, this like that bubble season. So they might say like this was the hardest. They might say that they had the hardest season or whatever like that.
They're not gonna say that.
For real?
I hope they don't say that.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Especially,
I hope that's not how they thinking, man. And look, man, we talking about like they can't really get together and do things, man. So
like
the expectations of what they doing has changed. So that's the biggest thing. The expectation. They can't get together. I mean, what can you do, man? COVID is real out there, and as we know, we in California right now, and COVID is real in California right now, man.
That's
I just had a guy
plays a part into why we doing this. We
just had a guy in. Now, look, I haven't been close to COVID, that much. I haven't been like people around me catching or whatever, but I just had a guy in the office, catch it.
Yeah.
So I know the guy, talked to the guy before, and he caught it, man. So he got it right now and having a pretty rough time with it. So that's the first time I've been like that close to people actually, having COVID, man. So
and that's how we started with making a decision to go ahead and expedite in the remote podcasting. When we got hit up about when San Diego got the extra order to stay at home, you know what I'm saying? So he's all right, let's still get, the podcast out. It took us a minute to kind of get everything back. It's actually easier to do it together than it is to do it remotely, which I would think it'd be easier to do it remotely, but it's easier to do it together. But I would like to say, man, I got my own picture thing. It's kind of small. It ain't as big as yours. I see yours is off. That's my grandma. Rest in peace, grandma. But I got my own little picture thing in the background now, baby.
I see you, man. I see you, man.
Why yours off, man? That's like the co-star of the whole thing, man.
Oh man, let me see what's going on with this thing, man.
That thing ain't on. Hey, we are super. I would like to reiterate, we are super duper excited to be back online, back what we doing, what we supposed to do. And I also want to kind of begin all of this by saying that this episode is dedicated to Aviation Ordnance Airman Apprentice Ethan Garrett Goolsby of San Antonio, Texas. Did you hear anything about that story?
I didn't hear too much about the story, about what happened and how it happened. But this is something that happens in the Navy, I think, too frequently, right? You can go, months, maybe even a year, man, but you always hearing about, someone over the side, either is suicide or whatever the case may be. You always hearing things like this happening out there. But yeah, man, it's a big deal, and rest in peace, man. So that's why we dedicating this episode to him, man. It's a big deal.
Let me get some facts out about him real quick. So he died, he went overboard on a USS Theodore Roosevelt about a week ago. So the TR, same ship that we recently had suicide on from a sailor. Same ship that had a few other things, you know what I'm saying? A lot of hardship coming off the TR. 607 square nautical miles, 55 hours. That was a search and rescue operation. That took place from Thursday to Saturday until he was eventually declared lost. And that ship had just left San Diego on December 7th. And this kid wanted to be an officer one day. So again, rest in peace. Fair winds, following seas, Aviation Ordnanceman, Airman Apprentice Ethan Garrett Goolsby from San Antonio, Texas. Families in our prayers, and we dedicate this episode of Permission to Speak Freely to him.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
But have you ever been on a ship and y'all had a man overboard?
Never. Never had a man overboard, man. And then I've been on like 6 ships, man. I never had a man overboard, and I'm thankful for that, man.
Yeah.
Because, rescue and assist. I am actually part of that team that goes out there and help rescue, people and stuff like, and sailors and stuff like that. And something happened. So I'm glad that I've never been part of that, tell you the truth. So yeah, man. I know one thing about when something like that happened to a ship, man, and the people they work with every day, it takes a toll on the division, on the department, and on the crew.
Yeah.
When something like that
happens,
and yeah.
I mean, you start to think about the last time you were with somebody and everything like that, man. It's crazy. We had a death, on our ship right after you left. We talked about it on our first episode, but not everybody, got to hear it. But GM3 Turner, he passed away, one of the guys on our ship. So, hey, but I think you did experience a death on your ship before, right? On one of your ships.
Oh yeah, man. Man, I had it was kind of extreme too, man. Like, and I'm saying this, man, and I'm not saying who, what, none of that stuff, but if you go back, I think it was around, I know I'm going to say how long I've been in the Navy now, but it's around 98, 99 time frame. I was going on my first deployment.
Yeah.
And we had our aviation team on board the ship, and the helo came in, and then we had had a fire alarm on the helo, and the helo was coming in. So when the helo was coming in, the alarm on the ship, and everybody been part of the team back on the flight deck, is the alarm goes off. If that alarm goes off, that means that helo is about to crash on deck.
Yeah.
So it goes off. So with that being said, the helo wasn't about to crash on deck, but that alarm did go off. When that alarm goes off, we all hit the deck. So we hit the deck, and once that alarm goes, once it stops, the whole team goes out there with water blasting, because we think it's going to be a fire. We can't see out there. The only thing we know, we hear the alarm. So we go out there, and man, I'm gonna tell you, I was the scene leader out there at the time. I was the second class, and I go out there, and what I see is the sailor legs hit the deck, and him fall over.
How far behind
Right?
were you?
No head, no nothing, man. And it was so dramatic, man, that like people had to get flew off the ship.
So he got
One,
amputated, decapitated.
yeah, yeah.
How far behind him were you?
I was it happened before I came out.
Okay.
So it happened. I comes out and I see it, and I'm backing up like, man, it scared the crap out of me. So I'm trying to get back in the hangar when I seen it.
Yeah.
And the team, like that you had, like you got a certain people out there. You got Chalk and Chainman, you got the LSCs and all those guys. All those guys was sprayed with blood and brains, man, all over their uniform out there.
It was the part.
These guys had to get. You got to come out and talk to us and
trauma,
all type of stuff, man. Yeah, it was tough on us at that time, man. I was on the frigate actually, man. It was pretty tough. You know how close we are on that thing because it's real small, and man, it was real tough for the whole crew, man. We took probably like 3 weeks off, no flying, no anything. People coming out, but I'm gonna tell you something that really was crazy about the whole thing is, and this is something for us to also think about. Sometimes we get so caught up and we know our job and we get complacent, is that people have jobs to do when they go out there, when they're on that flight deck. And somebody's in charge at all times when you're on that flight deck.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to this sailor is that he wasn't told to go in, but as you be in the Navy for so long, you so used to doing your job and you just go in. Ain't nobody told you to go in. And that's kind of what happened. You know how those helos, if you don't know, they droop down real low.
Yeah.
And it caught him, man.
The prop, right?
It was a bad day for everybody, man. Bad day.
It was the propeller that hit him, right?
Yeah, propeller. Yeah,
it's tough, man.
Yeah, man.
You know that's probably a young guy. Probably a young guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this kid Ethan was 20 years old, man. So
20 years old, man.
It's always it always seemed like it's the young guys, man, that we lose early. But
yeah, that goes back to everybody who listen also, man. It don't matter what you got going on in your life, man. You know, you gotta, and I don't know what happened to this kid, tell you the truth. I don't know what happened and how it happened. But for whoever that was involved, whoever that know this kid, if you need to talk to somebody, it's people out there that you can talk to. Also, because this stuff like this hit home, regardless of who you are, if you work close with him or you just know him, whatever the case may be, things like this hit home. So it's always somebody that you guys can go talk to also. Yeah. So keep that stuff in mind.
So I noticed something. You got another San Fran hat on, right?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
I thought we talked about this, man.
Yeah, man. But I saw. I don't know if you saw this or not, but I was told, man, keep wearing that red and gold, man.
For real?
So yeah, man. You know, my fans out there, man, told me to keep wearing this red and gold, man.
I ain't see that one.
You know,
I ain't see that.
You know, I had no fans out there, huh?
Nah, just like let me know where that comment at so I can hit the delete button. Yeah, they get rid of that.
Hey, you know what, man? Hey, so everybody see this episode. I hope we get it out in time for we play the Cowboys this week, man.
Okay.
You know, and I know all these Cowboys, the worst fans in the world that's out there right now. I'm telling you, we about to get in that butt this week.
That's because
all you guys.
That's your old lady team. That's why you get in that butt this week. That's your old lady team. That's why you act up.
We ain't talking this week, man. We ain't talking this week.
Ain't nobody checking for the Cowboys, man.
Cowboys gonna get that butt told up.
Hey, I got a simple Camp Cartel hat on. Shout out to Camp Cartel. If outside of the PTSF hat or any other hats, I've been wearing a lot of different Camp Cartel hats. I really like the hat. I try my best to style the PTSF hat after the Camp Cartel hat, but I really like the hat. I really like what Camp Cartel is doing. So again, military service member. So keep it up. Support Camp Cartel. That's Instagram or anywhere you go. Just look up Camp Cartel. You could get a hat.
It's a reason. It's a reason why you do that though, right? What's the reason why you be like you go out and you wear stuff like Camp Cartel and things like that?
Yo, want me to be honest with you on that? To be honest, I'm about to stop wearing other people's clothes and only wear clothes of people I know that make the clothes. Like, why not support the people we know than the people that we don't know that don't give a damn that we wearing their clothes? So I'm close to. I got brothers that make clothes, friends. I'm close to stop. I'm like not wearing anybody else's attire and just wearing people I know. So I mean, I like to support vets. I like to support military members, and Camp Cartel is a military thing. So I mean, I honestly, I just like the hats. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
I like the hats.
yeah.
Man.
Man, man, ever since I know you though, that's what you talk about, man. You support, man. Like people you go out your way to support them. So I know that's one.
Yeah, because we gotta lift each other up. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we see each other doing stuff, we gotta lift each other up. And I mean, that's why I'm thankful for the love and support that we get. You know what I'm saying? We've been rocking for over a month, and people been rocking with us for over a month. People been waiting patiently for this episode and plugging in as soon as we put the YouTube video out. People have been checking for it. So I'm very, very appreciative of all of that. If I could ask for anything, or if I could ask for anything from any of these people, I would probably just ask for some more reviews. That's it. There was some reviews.
And on that same note, if I could ask for a little bit more, man, it'd be Mississippi, man. Probably like the last 3 or 4 episodes, I've said something about this, and I'm still waiting, man. Mississippi, you do show up on the chart now, though.
Yeah, Mississippi,
you do show up.
Yeah,
one or two.
Philly is
one or two,
like going down. Philly is
one or two, but
I'm on my way to.
I know I got family and friends in Mississippi. I know I do.
Yeah,
I know I do. I know I do.
Yeah.
I'll let me, man.
I'm on my way to DC. We getting a lot of love from the DC area. California, of course, man. I love everybody in California. I love California. California is now my second home. You know what I'm saying? It used to yeah, man. It used to be Haifa, or was it Haifa? Yeah, it was like Haifa, Seychelles for a little bit. Now it's Cali, man. And Road to Spain. Yeah, I ain't gotta ever go back to Road to Spain, man. I've exhausted all my efforts of being a decent human in Road to Spain, so I could stay away from Road to Spain. But yeah, man, over a month we've been rocking. We started like November, Vets Day. That was our first episode was Vets Day. Then we shot a lot of them out, so and we gave y'all a lot of them at the same time. So it took us a while to get back to this one. So
but as normal though, so you guys know, we on all those major platforms right now for streaming, man. All of them, man. Like, right? We got Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Permission to speak freely. Look us up, man.
Yeah,
share it.
Freely. At PTSF Podcast on all of those platforms. And then for the merch, I don't have my PTSF hat, and we are like nil. We're almost out of them. But www.ptsfmerch.bigcartel.com. But before we stop with thanking people, I do want to thank my wife for all of the support. These things take time and they take work. To drive to Temecula every Saturday to set up, to film, coming back. We film for about 2.5 hours, and then we probably shoot the shit for like an hour or something too. Yeah. So that's like a 5-hour evolution. And just for her to be able to put up with it and everything she has going on. That's why, like I said, today was a very, very telling day for me, because we are super close to closing on our house. So she got that going on. She's probably going to deal with the majority of the move without me. So I had to do a bunch of powers of attorney for her to take care of that. And sailors, if you don't know this, you can take care of powers of attorney with the legal officer on your ship. You don't got to go to legal. The legal officer on your ship, they could get authorization to be able to take care of your powers of attorney. So I've been getting a lot of that stuff done with my legal officer, especially because the ship is about to have a major evolution soon. And she's been working. She's in school right now, working on her master's. She got about a year left of that. She was doing an apprenticeship, and then she works a full-time job. So, I got to thank her for everything that she does. And, you know, sometimes I spend some time thinking about the things that she doesn't do. You know what I'm saying? And like, I just need to spend more time appreciating the things that she does. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not like by far like the worst husband in the world. You know what I'm saying? But I do sometimes harp on, come on. You know what I'm saying? But I do sometimes, and you know it. But I do sometimes harp on. I think we probably always do in any relationship.
Yeah.
Harp on the things that the person is not doing or the things that they might miss, and we should probably spend some more time appreciating the things that they are doing and recognize how much they got going on. Our wife's got a lot going on.
Yeah, most definitely, man. And big shouts out to Angeline, man, handling the business, doing her thing, man. Well, since you put all that stuff, I had to give my wife a shout out too, man. Like she does a lot too, man. A lot for the household, a lot of things that I don't have to worry about. And I'm telling you, when I say this, a lot of stuff that I do not have to worry about, and at all. Like, don't even think about it. Not nothing. And I'm telling you, as being in the military and the things that we think about and how we want to be successful because we so focused on this and that, I could be thinking about 15 to 20 more things that could be on my plate right now besides trying to go out and be the best I can be at what I'm doing. I don't have to worry about that stuff. So she gave me that opportunity to do that. So big shouts out to Ella. But she always been doing this. This is her thing, man. She loved taking care of the family, man. We actually just took some family photos, man. We put a couple of them on Facebook. The rest of them coming in, man. So
yeah,
that's my squad, man.
Yeah,
that's my squad, man.
The crispy look, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Good. You know, good move. Wow. I haven't done that yet. My wife hit me up the other day, like, "Hey, we need to take some photos before we leave Cali." And you know,
oh yeah.
I'm like, what?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what kind of photos though? Like, what's the theme? You know, but
yeah,
they data before we leave Cali photos. Like,
yeah, man, that's right around the corner, man.
Yeah, man. But I don't know about taking photos just because we leaving Cali. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you when you gonna come back to Cali, man, and take those photos?
I don't know. Maybe I need like when to take photo, like kind of advice. I remember when I was very young, and me and my girl, we were getting ready for the prom, and she like, we should take like some pre-prom photos. And I was like, nah, I kind of don't even want to. This was her prom, too. I ain't going on my prom. I don't want nobody from Philly listening like, yo, you ain't going on your prom. And then I didn't go on her prom either. But like, she wanted me to go on her prom. I ain't take the pictures. She wound up going on prom. I was a really bad. All right, so I said I wasn't the worst husband. And I'm not. I think I'm a decent husband. But I was a really bad boyfriend back in 2003. So I didn't go on my girl's prom. She went on a prom with somebody else. And I think she was mad at me. But you know, that's a long time ago. But she wanted to take pictures, and I just didn't know what the occasion was. I never was like the big. It's crazy that we got like Instagram.
You was overthinking it. You was overthinking it.
Nah, you know when you just don't want to be in pictures, like
okay.
Like that was like where I was at in life, that I didn't want to be seen in pictures. It's crazy, and what I was gonna say, it's crazy because we got the podcast, we on YouTube, we got Instagram, we got social media now. But it was a time when like a young guy, like 16, 17, did not want to take a picture, you know? And I was one of those guys. I never wanted my face in pictures. I never wanted a historical recollection of myself. Like I was like a kingpin or something. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing anything, man. I was writing music and playing video games at the house, man.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't tell Ella nothing about, you know, the picture. She came up with the whole idea and stuff, and I just like jumped on board with it. I'm not a huge, you know, get me in front of the camera picture guy either. But once it happened and I was out there, I'm like, man, we should do this like every year.
Yeah.
And then as our family get larger, you know, they come back. Like my kids is going to be out of high school, you know, real soon. So as they get families and they grow, we can just keep doing this and keep it rolling, man.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that I do want to start with my wife. It's pretty admirable, man. I see people doing it. It's pretty admirable.
Yeah.
Hey, so you touched on work a little bit, right? But we've been going for about 11 days, I think we've been going for. So, I mean, anything else? I mean, you probably work, what 2 days out of that 11?
Well, man,
what's up, man?
Well, I will say this, man. We are like I go into work like probably out of the 5 days in the week, I probably go to work probably like 3 or 4 of those days. I might take one day off or whatever. But
I can tell by
like if I'm not on a ship right now, like I'm saying, I'm not on a ship, right? Because of COVID, man. Like I would have did like 2 ships.
Yeah.
Inspect end up getting canceled because of COVID or something, right? So the ships end up getting canceled. But we are teleworking.
Yeah.
Right. What that means is like I just like log into my computer at home and do all this stuff, but I'm kind of in charge of the department, so I go in to make sure little things here if they need me for something or stuff like that, they're just in us, man. We just got to go in and do that stuff. And I stay in Temecula, so I easily can be like, man, I'm gonna chill at home, but I just can't do that, man. I feel sometimes even when I don't go in, I feel bad about like not going in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for me to say, I ain't going in today. I'm gonna chill at I'm gonna do everything from home on my home computer. But sometimes it's hard for me to do that.
Yeah, they where I'm going, they teleworking, but I'll probably have to go in, or I'll be going in for the first couple months and stuff because I'm actually going to fill a gap billet. The billet been gapped for like a year.
Oh yeah. So you got a lot of work to do. But
were you did you catch the bomb threat the other day? Oh, you wasn't a part of that?
I ain't hear nothing about that.
So I don't know how much like I could say about this, just because it's embarrassing. But I mean, it's permission to speak freely. So it was a bomb threat recently. I'm not gonna get into where it was or nothing like that, but it was a bomb threat.
Yeah. I didn't hear nothing about that.
And the bomb.
What happened? I mean, what protocol? Did you have to leave?
The protocols were, in place. It wasn't on my ship. But the bomb threat came from a sailor, in which I don't think anybody was surprised about that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I think everybody assumed that, it's a sailor, a disgruntled sailor.
Wow.
And I just like to say that, to all the sailors that's trying to get off the ship, stay on, it's things. On a serious note, first, it's people that you could reach out to if you're having a mental health break or you going through something like that. But for all the sellers that's signed a contract and you want to renege right now and stuff like that, it's things that you can do and people that you can talk to that point you in the right direction of things that you could consider for getting out, like now in that early retirement thing and stuff like that. You don't have to issue a bomb threat. You don't have to try to burn up your ship. Those things put other sellers at a disadvantage. It put their lives at risk. It does a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? Reach out. If you're feeling like you about to break or something like that, reach out. Because most people minimize that to a seller just trying to get off the damn ship. And that could be the wrong thought, but I mean, people are desensitized. I'm on a deck place. I'm talking to sellers. Most people, he probably want to just get off the ship, or she probably trying to just get off the ship. It's better way.
Automatic.
Yeah, and I'm not encouraging anybody to try to get off the ship, but if you're down to making a bomb and issuing a bomb threat, it's better ways to get off the ship.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely, and since you brought that up, man, I kind of real quick wanna bring up the Bonhomme Richard, man. That ship is now gonna get decommissioned. Like we talking about millions of dollars, man, like lost on that ship. And the first thing now we got out of that is what? It was a sailor.
Yeah.
It was sabotage or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not saying those facts.
You was about to go to the BHR, but I got some information on the BHR too. Right. So the Navy, like you said, the Navy's planning on decommissioning the ship. Right. Hey, can you talk about decommissioning for like our civilian audience that might not know what decommissioning is?
Well, decommissioning of a ship is when the ship will be no longer in active duty. So they will. I don't know exactly how they're going to do it. Are they going to take it to shipyard somewhere and let it sit there. But a lot of times what happened, they pretty much strip the ship of everything it has on it, and then it's pretty much a big ass shell.
Yeah.
And then they send it to one of the shipyards somewhere, and they pretty much sit there either as a museum or they could take it out there and sink it one of the years or whatever. But pretty much it will no longer be a ship that sailors will be a part of and go out and do deployments or whatever, workups or whatever they need to do. So that ship would be out of commission pretty much.
Yeah, and it's just too expensive. It's too expensive to fix it, right? So fully repairing the ship to warfighting capabilities will cost $2.5 to $3 billion and 5 to 7 years, because it's about 60% of the ship that they got to replace.
And then on top of that, they put millions and millions of dollars in the ship while it was in the shipyard. Then you're going to turn it right around and put billions more.
Yeah, $250 million. They were at the end of the 2-year upgrade. That was a $250 million upgrade. Yeah, they were at the end of that. Now decomming the ship takes like $30 million in 9 months. So 9 months, $30 million. And then officially, it's still considered suspected arson with a sailor questioned but not detained. That's the last official report that I got about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think that mindset that self-sabotage mindset is growing.
Yeah.
No?
It most definitely is, man. And I don't know why, man. Like you said before, man, it's so many different avenues to go, and this where we go, man. We go with sabotage, man. It's crazy, man.
You know what?
But again, I want to also point out that we don't know that for facts what happened to the ship. Yeah. So that's what was speculated that happened. So we don't know for sure, but yeah.
It's
crazy.
That family, like when you first joined, and you were a junior sailor, was your division, like the vibe of your division and the presentation of your division, was it like a family vibe to it at some point?
Yeah, always, man. Everywhere I've been has been like that, though, man. Even when I was a junior sailor.
Yeah.
When I was junior, we still had that type of vibe, but I didn't know that it was my division as one, or it's because of my job.
Yeah.
Because my job, we have to depend on each other, all the time. Like whatever we do, we depend on each other. So I'm not sure if is it that, or was it the fact that I had some good leadership at that time?
I mean,
which I'm sure is a little bit of both.
Do you think that the schedules now kind of obstruct our abilities to just provide that oversight, just the general oversight, not like PMS or like general training, but just like, hey, senior. And I know you had sailor talk to you. You're a really good senior chief, but do you ever feel like sometime when that's happening, it was something else that you might have to put on the back burner because the schedule is so like compact now or so restricted? Like, hey, man, as I'm talking to this sailor, like for instance, just today, like I said, my wife was like grieving, but I knew that, I got to get to work. Like, at 5:30, if I leave out too late, I'm going to encounter traffic. But more so, in our case, it's a meeting in like 5 minutes. All I have is 4 minutes to kind of talk to the seller, then I got to rush up to it. You ever feel like, the schedule or the requirements get in the way of having that embrace still, or are you always able to still get it out?
Yeah, the schedule plays a big part in today's Navy, man. We have so many meetings and so much more paperwork, it seems like. And one thing we always know, man, is like for me to connect like I want to in my division, for me, it's about training. That's how I connect with them because I feel like I have so much to give back to my younger sailors. But what is the first thing goes on the back burner when it comes to all the other events that's going on?
Yeah.
It's your training your division.
Yeah.
Training your division is what's gonna get the axe.
Yeah.
every time almost. Like, you got all these meetings. Oh, what we gonna take out of POD? Oh, we got divisional training. Oh, that got cut out. Cut out.
Nah, yeah, that's
Whatever. So we have to go over and beyond now, man, to try to make things happen. And another thing, like, it's hard because you try to put out a schedule for your sailors to know what's going on, right? Because now in the Navy, now we always talk about the why. We won't say to know why we doing things, but if the why keep getting taken from us, like, we don't have no time to freaking explain it. We don't have no time to do this stuff. Hey, we gotta do this right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, right? That's kind of how I feel like a lot be happening now. Like, hey, sorry, hey, I apologize, but we gotta do this right now.
Do you remember when first classes didn't do PMS?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It used to be a time where you wouldn't really see a first class doing PMS. Now it's almost like they have to,
You have to.
There's so much stuff.
Yeah.
I felt bad.
Even me.
But see, that's
When I was a first class, you know what I did is when I was an LPO or whatever, I helped with PMS. I wasn't on the board.
you get them set up.
I went around and I did it and helped them and showed them how to do it and all that stuff. But I was never on the boards. But more important than that is my second classes wouldn't put me on the board.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Wouldn't even think.
But now you're right. It's different now, man. Like, you either underman,
Yeah.
first class got to do it, or you just got to do it.
Yeah.
It's
It's been times where, like, no lie, it's been times that I felt bad about, not doing PMS. Like, I felt like, damn, I could be doing some checks right now. And I mean, that's me as a chief. We got so much going on. I remember one day I asked one of my guys, I'm like, hey, so what did you do last week? And he's like, Chief, I honestly don't remember at all. Like, nothing. I'm like, because if this didn't get done and this didn't get done, then what did you do? Right. And I really just wanted to know. Then my other guy came up. He was like, man, I just think it's BS that they couldn't tell you what they did. This is what they did. He knew everything they did. And I realized nothing that they did had to do with the division. It was like, yeah, we had this thing, then we had this thing, then we had this thing. We had to go to this training, then we had this. It's like, oh, like, now I kind of understand the 10 minutes in between this training and this training, they trying to get a tag, but EDO might be busy or something crazy like that. So, but yeah, so I see it, man. I don't think we get enough time it is a job, but we also live on ships. We live on the ships. Some of these sailors are super young when they first, meet us. And some of them have us at like that mentor viewpoint, but if you're not able to be a mentor because you don't have enough time, sometimes sailors are left to their own devices. And some of those sailors and some of those devices aren't the way to go. It's some good people out there. Then there's some people out there that, need some more guidance.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
So, question for you.
Uh-oh.
Have you seen these memes about detailers? The recent memes about detailers? You ain't seen none of the memes? Oh, man. It's a big one that's been going around about, like, where the detailers, like, on the phone, like, oh, yeah, you want San Diego? All right. And then they like hang up. Then it's like, all right, Norfolk for you. Like, it's like, I saw a detailer get upset, like, nah, I ain't the best and most fit. Hey, detailers, look, man. If you're a detailer out there, we love you guys and we appreciate you guys, but somebody need to hear this, man.
Hey, you know what though? Hey, detailers, we need you to come on the pod, man. And talk about this, man. Come on the pod. Some detailer out there. I know you guys are out there, man. I don't care what rate. It doesn't matter, man. Come on the pod. Talk to us, man. We want to have some good conversation on the pod so the sailors can know what's going on, what's going through you guys' heads when you guys gotta, send them to Japan instead of San Diego, man.
My Navy assignments, right? It's sailors that want to know why before the jobs open, it's like 400 jobs on the queue, on the slate. Then the moment the jobs open, it's like 12 of them, right? That's a question. Another question that the sailors have is, are y'all putting y'all friends places that y'all want y'all friends to go? Like, is it, I know this guy, He want to stay in San Diego. I'm sending him to San Diego. Is that some of the stuff that's happening? I know people want to know about that stuff.
And it's all the jobs on there. Like, hey, like I know people be going places here and I'll be like, man, I ain't see that job available. How you get that job? I ain't even see it. So I mean,
we need it.
You got jobs in the hole, some jobs and stuff.
Yeah, like
wait.
Like we need to talk to a detailer ASAP. If you're a detailer, give us your information. Come to the podcast. We need to talk to you.
We need you guys for episode 9. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Because I know a guy. I'm not gonna get too specific. He been talking to a detailer for about 9 months. You know, detailer ain't lied to him though, right? The detailer didn't lie to him. The detailer told him, if I can help you, I'm going to help you up until the moment I can't. Right? So he trying to set himself up 9 months ago for success now. Right? He wanted something simple, you know. So he wanted to, but he had to go back to back seat. Supposed to go on shore duty, but he chose to go back to back seat just to get these orders that he wanted. I start off by saying the detailer don't have to do any of this. You know what I'm saying? So he told him, if I can help you, I'm going to help you until I can't. Right? So, yeah. So he goes, he picks and then the guy though, I think he was playing hardball and not picking jobs. Like, you know, because I know how this thing works. Even if it ain't the job I want, I'm going to go with the least the path or less, resistance. I'm going to pick something. Like, all right, instead of not picking anything and getting hit with whatever you're going to hit me with, now I'm going to pick something. At least I get something I want. But he was playing hardball, I think, holding out. Like, all right, I ain't going to pick nothing. So, fell in the knees of the Navy. Right?
Navy. You know what? Speaking of needs of the Navy, before you go on, man, I think needs of the Navy is like, it's like having that candy right there in front of you, man. You just eat that nice, chocolate strawberry that you need. Once you fall in that, man, it's like, oh man, they just picking you up out of there. Like you actually, I think you making the detailer's day.
Yo,
needs of the Navy, man. All those little jobs out there that he can't get filled, no one wants to pick. Yeah. That's you, buddy.
Needs of the Navy is like that portal that you don't want to go through. like what is on the other side of this thing, man? So he fell in the knees of the Navy, reached back out to the detailer, right? And the detailer pretty much told him that this was the time that I can't help. I told you I would help you as much as I can help you until I can't. Now I can't. Yeah, that's pretty. And it's not funny. It's sad, man. I love the guy, man. I love the guy. It's honestly, I love the guy, but it's sad. And but that's the way that these things happen, and these things tug on people emotionally. Sometimes these people, like, it's people on the other side of the phone call. It's people on the other side of the computer. It's things that they got going on. And the one thing that I feel like I could probably understand with a detailer is they probably talk to 100 people a day, and 100 people probably have 100 different problems that they want the detailer to care about or whatever. So I do side with the detailer on that. And then on the other serious side, I do want to see my guy kind of get what he's asking for. But man, it's a slippery slope sometimes dealing with the detailers, man. And we definitely want to talk to one of them. And I also don't want to go any further without congratulating you on your leadership award.
Oh man, thanks, man.
Damn.
Hey, let me tell you about the, first off, the people who put that stuff together. I didn't know that much about the award. Didn't know what was going on. I don't even know if you was involved with it. You may have been involved with that award too. I'm not too sure.
I saw it. It is the one I did. I was.
Yeah. So you guys was heavily involved with it, man. I didn't even really know that much about it. And with the COVID thing and all that stuff going on, this award was probably supposed to have been awarded.
Yeah, it's
a long time ago, right? Everything's going on, but it's a big deal, man, because what it does for me, it make me think about is it made me think about what I try to do every day with sailors and try to lead and try to do things like that. And sometimes when you get something like that, you feel appreciated sometimes, man, to make you keep grinding and keep driving, because you even though stuff happens and stuff goes on, man, make you feel like you've been appreciated a little bit, man. So I really appreciate the getting that award and everybody who was involved with it, man. It was a big deal for me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I saw it, and all I could say when I saw it was, damn.
Yeah, man, that was a big deal too. I know you guys saw it. Damo put it up on Facebook, man. It said it spelled my name wrong on there, man, and I don't know how. It ain't. Look, people make mistakes all the time, right? With names and spelling and all this type of stuff. Cool, but if I was doing it and I put damn on there, I feel like that would have been a red flag for me, man. The word damn. If I would have been thinking about anything, if you put the word DAMN on there, I would have to myself say, is that really his name?
Yeah.
I would have thought like that. Is that really his name? Because you put it on the award and you put it on the
they put it on
the actual plaque.
Yeah.
So that's twice. So I would have thought, it would have been something that would have been seen. But hey, I don't care, man. Big Shot side is getting corrected. I talked to the right people. It's all getting handled. So
you know how I said I played a part in that one?
Yeah.
That was the part I played, man. Nah, but hey, we need to. Hey, whoever did the laser engraving or however y'all did it, we need you on the podcast, man. We need to know. We need to know what make you see.
Y'all set me up like that, man. What? Man? I want to know what, man.
Even if you saw the word damn, you had to be scratching your head like, damn, is this dude's name really damn?
Yeah, man, that's what I thought about, man. Is that it?
I would be asking the question, man.
That's kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy. It's okay though, man. It's okay. Hey, so I know you talked to it briefly. You mentioned it. Your birthday, man.
Yeah.
Your birthday just passed, man. What's going on? What you do, man? I saw some stuff on Facebook, man. I was very impressed.
Yeah.
So what you do for your birthday, man?
I was in port on duty, EDO. I told my guys, I said, don't bring me a damn tray from the ship's store. I said, don't bring me no damn tray of snacks from the ship's store. Early enough, LPO swung open the door. A tray of snacks from the ship's store.
Of course.
I ate them. I enjoyed them. One of my guys was prepping to make a paper card for me, because over the years for my guys, I feel like I broke my back, for them, Yeah. And I ain't talking about, I know what you think I'm talking about. I think you think I'm talking about being a chief and working. No, I'm talking about birthday consideration. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, I might have took a dip with the last couple guys, right? But the years before that, I broke my back to consider my guys. So I just knew. I told them in the morning, I said, I know that from y'all's experience, all the gifts I got y'all, I know y'all got something real nice set up. Plan.
Yes.
And they swung open that door and they had that crate of ship store items. And I appreciated it though. I'm the worst person to buy gifts. But I appreciated it. I always appreciate the guys. I don't really need anything from them. Working with those guys is enough of a gift.
Yeah.
But then I got home and my wife, she always didn't want her to surprise me because we buying a house and it's not the time for any of that stuff. But she surprised me. She had the whole house set up. She did the balloons. I don't know what they call it. It's the arching balloons or whatever. She did all that stuff herself. You know what I'm saying? And she got some stuff made. And she did what she's supposed to do. So shout out to Jess and Des again. They helped her out to get some stuff for the birthday. And so we celebrated. She got cake. That was the one thing I didn't want. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been gaining weight because can't work out. And, this notorious knee injury that I keep telling you about. You know what I'm saying? So I'm healing. I'm like almost 100%. So, I haven't been able to work out. You know what I'm saying? Somebody was looking at the podcast. They said, what you could do is get your knee better so you could jump back on that treadmill and lose some of that chunkiness out of your cheeks. I was like, thanks, man. That was Luke, man. Luke was talking trash, man. But I'm like, thank you, I appreciate it, man. But so I'm like, as long as she don't get cake, I'm good to go. I came home, she had a cake. And it looked like the PTSF ball cap, the All Time Is Late joint.
You had to get. Was it your favorite cake?
No. It was good, but she ate the bulk of it. To be honest, she ate most of that. She ate most of the hat. She ate most of the hat. To be honest with you, I was like, "Whoa, babe!" I went in for a piece, and I'm like, "Whoa, you took care of that." You know what I'm saying? But she deserves it, and she got some cupcakes too, but they disappeared. She made really fast work of those things too, man. So.
Actually, you were messing around.
Play it, man. She bought that. I told her, I was like, "Yo, you bought this cake for you. Like you ain't bought this cake for me." And then she got me my favorite workout clothes. I don't want to shout out the company, but I love the workout clothes, and I got money invested in these guys too. So she bought me some stuff from them, and she got me some socks. That's starting to be her go-to. It used to be the pajamas. I had to tell her, like, babe, I got enough pajamas. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's switch it up. So now she can't go wrong with the workout clothes. She always safe with those, and I love socks. So a couple pair of socks. I'm always safe. But if anybody need pajamas, if we got any fans that need a pajamas, just let me know, man. I got 7 years worth of pajamas. What else we got going on, man? D-Fast, man. D-Fast.
Oh, man. Boy, I can tell you about D-Fast, man. Hey, look. Let me tell you, man. So the issue is not that we didn't get paid like we normally do on the early. You got active duty with Navy Fed, you get paid a little early, right? That wasn't the issue. The issue wasn't the fact that we get paid and when we got paid and whatever. The issue was when I found out. Now everybody else may have found out a little bit early. I don't know, but when I found out, it was like an hour away from being paid.
How did you find out?
A message.
What?
No. That's not how. No, I take that back. That's not how I found out. My wife said, "Hey, did you hear this? Did you hear this about you guys not getting paid?" It was like an hour or something before. I said, "No, I ain't heard about us not getting paid." So as soon as she said that, I went to Navy. I clicked on the Navy Federal app, and when I clicked on it, it said that DFAS something didn't get done in time or whatever.
Yeah.
So you go get paid on the actual 15th or whatever. So yeah.
So I don't have alerts. I don't have alerts set up on my phone from almost anybody, but I found out from like a Facebook post. I saw somebody posted on Facebook. I feel like it's better ways to get that information out there.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's where my wife got it from too. She got it from that and then told me about it. It's probably how
I didn't even know to believe it. I had to, check on Navy Fed myself, but that's like very last minute with that information. And I know Navy Fed, I think it was DFAS who should have probably got us that information out a little bit earlier, right?
Yeah, most definitely, man. And then like for us, man, I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But
it's not like a huge thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But think about young sailors though, man.
Yeah.
I remember my E1, E2, E3 days.
Talk about it, right? 3,000.
I remember those days, man. So
the car, $3 different $1,000 loans. We talk about,
man. I'm telling you, I probably had about 2-3 checks was $32.
Yeah, because
all my stuff was loaned out, man. So I remember those days, man. I know I can be.
And most of my money is spent. Well, not now, but then. But most of my money's spent before I get it. So I can't. I'm probably walking around like Adam Sandler on Uncut Gems if if they take a day away from my money, you know what I'm saying? Somebody probably about to shake me down in the street, man.
How about when you set those bills up before the 15th? You need to set them bills up because
then they man, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like back in the day, The overdraft used to hit 2 days before the check. So I went to pay $75, didn't have it, so they didn't take it. So now they charge you $35 on top, and it wasn't like one fee for your account overdrafting. Every pull from the account is going to get you a different overdraft fee. I used to have the overdraft fees calculated too into the budget.
Oh yeah, man. Overdraft.
Like y'all probably gonna have to pay Navy Fed $150 in overdraft fees, when I get paid.
Yeah, man. Easy, dude. Easy. On all the little things you got automatically coming out too, like automatically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
On a good note, what other news dropped? The financial literacy training news dropped too.
Yeah.
And that's e-learning. It's going to be a financial literacy mobile app. We already do financial literacy training, and that was mandated in response to the 2016 National Defense Authorization Act. So we already have training, and then the mobile app is going to be coming out like late December 2020. Now, all of this stuff was developed without COVID in mind, of course, right? And it's a few touch points for that training. So it's touch point based training. And the first one is about just like boot camp. That's the first one, just introduction to financial literacy. That's boot camp. And then it's the other touch points. I'm gonna go over all the touch points. And then let me know what you think about some of these touch points.
Yeah.
But first permanent duty station is a touch point. Permanent change station, 03 and below, E4 and below. Promotion, 04 and below, E5 and below. Vesting and TSP under BRS upon completion of 2 years of service. Entitlement to continuation pay. Marriage, divorce, birth of first child, disabling sickness or condition, pre and post deployment, leadership training, transition training, right? So transition of the service member from active component to reserve component, or separation or retirement. And I'm not sure if a lot of sellers even know that this financial literacy training exists, but there are all the touch points and all the topics that if somebody went on e-learning right now or Google financial literacy e-learning, that stuff will come up.
Yeah. I think all those things are great things for us to be out there. And I think with the app itself, that's where we're going right now. That's why the young kids gonna be able to be in touch with it. If it was in a book somewhere, ain't nobody touching those books no more. But if you put that thing on their phone, you got a better chance. Not saying they all gonna look at it, but I guarantee you, if something they want to do, and if it's in that app, they gonna look at it. Like say we mention TSP all the time, right? They're like, oh, let me learn a little bit more about this. If it's right there in their hands, they gonna click on it and they gonna learn about it.
Yeah.
So I think that's the exciting part about it. If you're going up for retirement, right now, if it's on this app, boom, now I'm finna click on it. I may have not clicked on it before or cared about it before, but when it's my time or something, I'm finna have something to do with me. That's probably when I'm gonna use it, and it's readily available on this app. So I think it's a good thing. But like you said, it's already a lot of training out there already on it. But I think putting it on the app is what I'm more excited about than any of it.
Yeah. And if the app is, you know how I feel about Navy apps. So if the app is good, streamlined, and when you click stuff, it actually accesses it. You don't got to try to click it 6 different times and stuff like that. Yes. Yeah. If it's a good app, then yes. All right. More news. We got more news came out today about, not today, yesterday, and today. The promotions finally came out. So
good deal, man. Like this is some of it. Yeah, big claps up. Hey, this is some of the most exciting times for not only the people who getting promoted, but people who are around them, the leaders, your subordinates, everybody, man. This is it happens twice a year, man. And it's one of those times where everybody get excited. Because not only they putting hard work in also, but if you're a leader, you probably helping put some of that work in also. So it's a big time team effort. For me, that's how it was. When somebody made rank, it was a team making rank. It was the whole division making rank, and it was a big deal. So I know it's a lot of sailors out there today and yesterday that's congratulating them each other and doing big things out there right now, man. So again, congratulations to everybody who put on rank. And if you didn't put on rank, work a little bit harder, study your butt off a little bit more, and it'll be your turn next year. Next time we take the exam. So big shouts out to all those guys.
Yeah, if you didn't promote this time, your time will come. You know, I'm one of those people that believe that too. Like if you keep grinding, eventually it's going to catch up with you. I know some people always think that's like just poetic or you know make believe fantasy stuff, but if you keep grinding, eventually your time will come. Just don't stop grinding. Just don't stop grinding. You're gonna get what you worked for.
Most definitely, man. I'm a big fan of that, man. Like, don't ever give up, man. Keep doing what you do, and you know when your time coming. You know what you putting in, the work you putting in every day. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. So big shots out, man.
It's happened to me.
Let me tell you, man. Like for the people who did put on rank, man. Like, man, enjoy it, man. Like that's a big deal. It's a percentage out there for the civilians that's out there listening to the podcast. Also, it's a lot of sailors get advanced. A lot of sailors that are eligible to be advanced to the next pay grade, but they may not advance. But say you got 200 people took that test, they may not advance, but 20% of that 200 people,
right?
You know, so somebody make rank in the military, it's a big deal for us because it's a lot of good sailors that's out there that does not make it that time. So it's a big deal. Big shots out, man, to those guys that make it.
Yeah, you know, this year we had the not automatic E4, but we had you didn't have to take the test to make E4 like a rack and stack. I was a little upset, of course, because I got a guy that was eligible, but he was fresh out of boot camp. But I'm always mad when my guys don't advance, so I was a little upset. I was all like, "Man, screw this whole automatic E4." I was just pissed off. It most likely was fair, but of course, it personally affected me. So I was just tight. I wanted to see my guy make a petty officer. He only been in the Navy for like 3 weeks, but I just wanted to see him.
So this is actually the second time they did this, right? Right, they did it the cycle before.
Yeah. They
did it this cycle.
Yeah.
Right. So my question is, why we couldn't? If we taking the E5, we taking the E6 exam. I'd like to know the biggest reasons why we didn't take the E4 exam. Man, you sure it wasn't a focus group out there on that or something? Is the reason why the E4s couldn't take it? I'm trying to figure it out.
I think COVID gets used as an excuse sometimes. But we're going to talk about that in a second. Yeah. I don't want us to forget to commemorate Pearl Harbor, right? That's a big deal. You were stationed out there before, so you know a little bit more about that heritage than me as far as actually living there and experiencing that heritage that way. And I was there for a couple months or something like that with my ship. But December 7th.
Yeah, man. December 7th, man, 1941, man. It's a big deal in Hawaii, man. Like when I got there, of course, you know, there's no real, you know, signs of a lot of stuff out there. But if you talk to somebody who's been around there for a while, man, and you think about what was there before that time frame, you know, and I was stationed on I was stationed out there on what's the name of it?
ATG.
Oh right? Man, yeah, I was at ATG, but I'm saying it's a name of the place over there. Oh man,
you got to come back to it, man.
Yeah, I'll come back to it. But over there on that side where I was stationed at, that building over there, that's what a lot of times where it got a lot of stuff had happened over there. Over there, you had your runways, you had all the stuff that's over there. And that's where a lot of the stuff happened at. Then you got the Arizona that's sitting out there. You know, what they said about that, they said, you know, people was buried alive, you know, on Arizona and stuff like that. So the heritage is strong out there, man, you know, and that led into, you know, World War II.
Yeah.
So that December 7, 1941 played a big history in on what we do and what we did after that, man. Like we kind of like, I ain't gonna say we lost whatever happens to that, but after that, man, it was big for us as the United States moving forward. Where what anything, man, from World War II and on, man, the things we did, we kind of like crushed our enemies after that, right there,
Yeah,
man.
man, Pearl Harbor is like, for me, that's the genesis of my like my honor, I guess, in Navy, and and I know it's a lot of history before Pearl Harbor,
Yeah,
but Pearl Harbor is kind of like the foundation of my kind of what made me join. What the first story, like Dory Miller and all the other brave people from Pearl Harbor.
yeah,
A lot of those stories are like the first stories that really attracted me to, the pride of a sailor. Like, this is my Navy. Like, that Pearl Harbor, the events, right after, the things we did right after that, the Midway, Battle of Midway, and everything we did after that Pearl Harbor attack is what's like I kind of rooted my foundation and pride in.
yeah. And yeah, man, and it goes for a lot of people out there too, man. Is that they look at it maybe a little bit different here and there on what they're doing and what gets them excited. But if you in the military right now, and I don't care what branch you in, you probably know December the 7th, 1941.
Yeah, man.
Like,
And
know
hey,
that once it comes every year, either it's gonna come up in your feed on Facebook, it's gonna be somewhere, you gonna know about it. You either did training on it, something happened that's gonna make you realize, oh man, it's December 7th. It don't matter if you forget about it or not. When that day come around, you're gonna remember on what's going on in 1941,
yeah, man,
December
the day
7th.
that'll live in infamy. So honor, respect all of the people who lost lives, all of the heroes that lost lives, all of the heroes that defended us in every battle there and thereafter. Appreciate your service, and I hope that we're making you proud with our service.
Yeah.
So,
A lot of heroes, man. A lot of heroes out there, man, that sacrifice, sacrifice, man. So many people, man. And I'm talking about um the fact that like didn't have a clue that this was about to happen.
I'm telling you, man, it was so
Yeah.
heroic. It was so heroic and so dope and so cool, and like just so superhuman of some of these people that like Hollywood can't make a good movie about. They haven't. They, in my opinion,
Yeah.
they've yet to. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But Hollywood,
Yeah.
you can't do respect to those heroes. They like Hollywood ain't done the respect that those heroes deserve yet. And a lot of our military heroes, when they make movies about them, the movies pale in comparison to what these guys really, did and
Yeah.
went through. But let's get into it, man. COVID,
Yeah,
COVID,
man. COVID.
topic of the
Um,
topic of the year.
man, COVID is out of control,
Yeah.
man. But you know what though? First off, let me start this off by saying this, man, that COVID itself has changed the way we do everything,
Hmm.
right? And I don't think it's going nowhere no time soon. I think even with the vaccines and all that stuff that's coming to the light, man, I think I'm still about to wear this mask, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Like even after this, whatever the case may be. So, but the only issues that I got with COVID is clear guidance.
Right. Yeah.
Clear and cut, right? So I love clear and cut guidance on everything, man. Like so I know what they're doing, what I'm putting out to people. I know what is true, but and what I mean by that is that I don't, and this is my opinion, of course. I see different things happening, man. Like I see different, when I say different things, like different commands, like the command I may be at, we may be doing it this way. Then I can go to talk to somebody else about their command. They might be doing it this way,
Yeah.
and if you leave it up to the COs or whatever, that's what's going to happen. But this COVID thing ain't really that type of thing, man. It's guidance that's out there. But you know, as you already know, man, when you have different things happen, man, the young sailors look, at it and they read. That's the stuff they want to read. They might not read their rating manuals,
Yeah.
but they most definitely read about what they can do and can't do when it comes to COVID. So yeah, it's crazy, man.
Hey, so how feasible is maintaining the standard, the COVID, social distancing standards in your field right now as an inspector?
Yeah.
Is that in your opinion, is that even feasible?
Well, it's not
Uh
feasible,
huh.
but we make it happen.
Yeah. How?
And I'm gonna tell you right now, ain't no way that I can go on a ship and stay 6 feet away from everybody. But it's a 6 feet within a time period too, though.
No.
I mean, it's a time that feels like maybe 15 minutes or something like
15
that,
minutes
or whatever.
total. 15 minutes total.
Yeah, total. Yeah, total. So
Yeah.
it's yeah. So that's something that pretty much not going to happen in my field when I'm on the ship.
Yeah.
Where I can handle that at is at work though. When I'm at my in my office, yeah, we can stay 6 feet, we can do all this. But when I go on a ship,
Yeah.
yeah, even with you guys on a ship,
You try
that's got to be very.
you try to throw it to me, huh, man? You try to throw it to me. Yeah.
Yeah, man. How difficult that could be, man, for you guys.
You try to throw it at me, man. I see you, man. It's difficult, man. You know what I'm saying? I was on the mess text the other day. They got the sneeze guards up, but
That's new. Is that new for you
no,
guys?
that we have sneeze guards. No,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna let you do us like that, man. You know what I'm saying? You already threw it at me, but we had sneeze guards up, and one of the sneeze guards stopped midway between the sailor's face, and then the other sailor was on this side of the sneeze guard, the other sailor was on that side. So I told him, I was like, "Hey, y'all gotta make sure y'all scoop over so y'all can be behind the sneeze guard. 4 inches to the right, you're not behind the sneeze guard anymore."
Yeah.
And that's just a small aspect of it all. But it's hard. I mean, it's the military. I gotta cape a little bit for the command because I could get in trouble for no, but it's small. Chief's mess is small. We're not on a carrier, and it's not that many actual moments where you could actually I can't think of a full day. I'm having a hard time, man. I'm having a hard time trying to explain this, man. You know what I'm saying? But
That's what it does to us, man. Like COVID is
I don't want
turning out
I don't want to get too
things that
specific.
we used to do upside down.
Yeah, I don't want to get too specific in how we operate as a ship about COVID because I just think that's just too specific to our command. But I do want to get
Yeah.
specific to thoughts and ideas. I don't think. I think if any command could support not having 100% manning, I think the command should not have 100% manning because I think just my own weird ass logic tells me that 100% manning means more people are together. More people together means more people able to spread COVID. More close contacts, more stuff like that. I think if the shift work happened or the duty section and maybe the sister section thing, especially if you got 6 sections or however many sections you got. If you do duty section, sister section, with sister section probably leaving after a shift, I think those things help a lot more than trying to get 100% manning and people are left again to their own devices to do whatever the hell they think that they could do outside of the guidance that they received from their chain of command who told them to stay 6 feet away and put their mask on and stuff like that. Somebody's every day I tell it's COVID, right? It's deadly. We talked about it. Every day I tell somebody to put their mask on. every day.
Yeah. And yeah, man. And yeah, we just talked about this on my ship too, man. I mean, not my ship, on my command too, man. Like when the guy that caught it, first thing you got to do your contact tracing and all that stuff, and um, that was the biggest thing came out of that was make sure we have our distance and all that type of stuff when we in the office and all that stuff because we had to go back. We had put people on ROM just for being around the guy that caught it. So if we all would have been like separated by 6 feet, it wouldn't have been an issue at
Mhm.
all. But everybody wasn't. So there you go.
Yeah.
You know,
So look,
but
I'm thinking about something though that's kind of funny to me, right? Because since we're not at like a legitimate time of war, I think like the military, especially like a lot of our leaders, the way we speak is like a lot of times we're very good at communicating threats, right? And I think it's because we just not at a time of war. So there's no real
yeah,
person you got a threat. So like I don't, and I please finish your thought, but a lot of times some of the COVID stuff I hear presented, and I'm not talking about my command, but like even like things I'm reading from different people. Some of the things feel like threats. Like this is a disease, a invisible enemy already. Like somebody could literally get this practicing the best safe measures that they could practice, they could still get this thing, and then to feel at fault for getting this thing is sometimes boggles my brain. To make somebody feel guilty for now if
yeah.
you're doing the wrong thing, yes. If you grouped up playing video games or doing weird stuff like that, then yes. But if the issue in threats sometimes feels weird when I hear them.
So somebody get it, we not even feeling sorry for. We like,
Yeah, like
why the hell
yeah,
did that
like
shit?
yeah, then that's the
Yeah,
Navy. We do that a lot. Like we guilt trip.
yeah.
That's one of the things.
Instead of asking somebody if they're okay, we always asking like, "Where were you?
Yeah, like
What you was doing?"
what the
That type of
you
stuff.
know, and I get it because it's the effect that it has on. It's the effect that it has on us. It's gonna. It's like the whole thing that you used to get with with people not being sensitive to pregnancies, right? Because you get on the other, and I know that's a hot topic, and we're not gonna get into pregnancies. First of all, that's life. Bringing a life into the world is a blessing, and that's something I totally respect, no matter what phase of life that you're in. But I know as a young sailor coming up, when we had somebody get pregnant, people would be upset because sometimes that they're leaving now. You know what I'm saying? At some point in time, they're leaving, and it has an effect on the division, like the workload and stuff like that. And I think people lose the sensitivity and the condition, the medical condition. I'm not talking about pregnancy again now. That's a blessing. But with the COVID, I think
Yeah,
people lose this. Like this person, it's an off chance that this person can die. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I think we get
yeah,
too caught up in that, oh man, we're gonna have to do extra work. It's making it harder on the duty sections. It's you know what I'm saying? Where if we maybe would have limited the amount of people that were on the ship anyway, we could have limited the spread. But you got people getting it from wives. It's a lot going on with COVID right now. And we can't beat it until the vaccine. Like we
yeah. But you know what? And that goes back to again different commands,
yeah,
right? Because there's some commands out there they are doing the bare minimum.
yeah.
I mean, they are doing just duty section. They are doing this.
But and it's a few that's not, because I'm trying to clarify that I'm not talking about my command.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but,
Yeah.
but so it's a few commands that's not doing the bare minimum,
Yeah.
and we're
And I
gonna
do
talk
think
about one
they
of
should
them.
be.
We're gonna talk about one of them in a minute.
Yeah, I really do think they should be doing the bare minimum, but of course, sometimes we don't see the big picture. Maybe they got more of a bigger picture than we know, and they trying to get to a certain place and do a lot of things, and they have to have everybody there to get to that place. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
we
I know the message is out there, like from my side of it and where I work and stuff, the message is out there is that hey, if we're not doing this or that, we need to have a minimum people here or there or whatever the case may be because of COVID and how bad it's getting. Because most definitely not getting better.
Yeah.
It's getting worse.
COVID is not getting better. Our adversaries are not letting up. You know, we still got a mission to carry out. So, I mean, the military can't go to a standstill. We understand that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have the answers here either. You know what I'm saying? I have some questions like, you know,
Yeah.
would it make sense having, you know, a duty section or two on call that we know are quarantining at home, that we're not worried about their, you know, safety, even though if they're at home, we still got to kind of worry about it, but we're a little less worried about them, you know, making contact too much because they're at home quarantining. And then if we did have to get the immediate call during the time of war, we recall everybody back and, you know, it happens like that. But of course we have the PDS going on. But before we talk about PDS, what does essential personnel mean? Is that a thing? I know that's something that you actually thought of was the essential personnel for COVID thing.
Yeah, I like to. I mean, yeah, I will because I would like to know the what does it mean? Like, what's the distinct from who being like I think the military is military period essential
I
personnel.
think so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so, right? So we are essential personnel, but that's the word I bring it up, and I only say it because that's the word that's always thrown around when it comes to like us going here, us doing that, or why you're not at home. It's like because you're essential personnel. So we're not at a time of war and things like that. So I would like to know if anybody can, you know, clarify or, you know, put in the comments when you guys watch the episode and say, hey, this is defining essential personnel for the military because I would like to know, you know, I would like to know that.
Yeah.
You know, what it's saying when it comes to essential personnel and who is essential, you know, and all that type of stuff. Because I know we are in the military. And I know we got jobs, and I know we got things that have to be done. Like you said, the military ain't gonna stop, and our enemies ain't gonna stop either. But with that being said, we also got families. We also got lives. We got things like that. Also, and the juggle in between and all that type of stuff. Who knows, man? Like I'm not here for that. I am in the military. I'm here to do whatever I need to do, but I know that's the big word that's thrown around a lot, essential personnel, and I would like to know the distinction between, non-essential and essential, But yeah, it's thrown around the civilian world too, though. In the civilians, so not just military, the civilians also, when they go into work, like Cali is damn near completely shut down right now.
Yeah.
So but people are still doing things. So are they considered essential personnel also?
Clubs open. The strip club's essential. You know that, right? You ain't see the story? The strip clubs are essential. Yeah, I saw a story where like a church posed as a strip club just so they could stay open. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, strip clubs essential, man. So them got green light. They just got greenlit to stay open. Pacers is greenlit. Well, let me not shout out the strip clubs, but these spots greenlit, man. You want some decent wings? You hit Pacers. I think they got rib night, and it's free for the military, man. But don't hit Pacers during COVID. Be responsible. Be responsible, man. But yes, they are. And then you spoke about people in the middle of our COVID. I do want to bring this up. You spoke about people responding and talking to us. We want that too, and we got that. So for when we asked about an XO for fighting fires on a sub, when we asked about does the XO respond to damage control casualties?
Yeah.
When we were talking about the Denzel movie, Crimson Tide, we got we got a response, and the response was somebody was watching our YouTube video, and the response was that the XO does,
Oh wow!
Yeah, the XO does. Actually, that was Kyle McFarland, sub guy.
Nice.
He said the XO does.
Kyle, man, the good stuff right there, man. Because we did not know. Right, it was strange to me because I know it don't happen, in our world, But
he said it ain't no flying squad. He said ain't no flying squads, man. They everybody take care of that casualty. But he said the XO is in there though.
That's good stuff,
He
man.
said,
I'm not mad at it at all. I just never seen nothing like that,
he said
man.
there's no like perfect red button. He said there's no like red button where the XO could just push it and everything's done. But he said the XO does fight those fires. He also said he
Good
didn't know
stuff.
anything about having a pet on the sub. He don't think that that's a thing.
Oh no, yeah, that's crazy right there. But big shouts out to Kyle, man. Hey, way to respond, man. I like that.
And then
Good stuff.
we were talking for a second. I brought up PDSing, right? And that's the prior to deployment sequester that people have to go on. So it's a few things we got to do. We got to ROM when we go places, and then we also PDS before we go out on a mission. And just something that I want to say to the sailors that's PDSing, that's in hotels. And a few of our episodes, we talk about stress. And in one of our episodes, we gave resources. That was our first episode, actually. That was our first episode, the one about trunk space. We gave resources and we talked about military one source. So just remember that if you're in a hotel and you on a computer or you on your phone and you need somebody to talk to, you need somebody to reach out to, military one source. And if you could even go on a permission to speak freely email, ptsfpodcast@gmail.com. And we could shoot out some resources for you as well. If you want to shoot the shit with us, I'll do that too. Anything you need. I'm not really that good in those times, but like we talked about on our episode, I try to be there in those times. So if you need anything, we'll be available for that. And then also know your sources, military one source.
Yeah, most definitely, man. That's a hard time, man. Knowing you about to, get on the way or whatever the case may be for a while, and then you gotta be, stuck in a room somewhere for a little while also. But then once you get out of that, then you like leaving. So
Yeah.
I know how stressful it can be, So like you said, man, we got resources out there, man. Use them. That's the only thing I can tell you, man, when it comes to stuff like that. And that's one good thing about the military. We have damn near something for everything.
Yeah.
Right. We just gotta, sometimes suck our pride up and don't be scared to actually, use the phone and dial the number and call and talk to somebody, man.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised at the response that you'll get when you call somebody and talk to them.
We were on deployment, and I had a sailor who did I think a 3-week quarantine or a 14-day or something like that. And I remember like playing it down, like, yeah, you were in a hotel, relaxed for however many days, and we were out on a deck place. And when I think about it, when I started to think about it as it gets closer for me, to have the PDS, I realized that could be very tough. I don't think I can make it 2 days in a hotel, man.
Yeah.
I'm not PDSing in a hotel, but I don't think that I don't, and not saying I can't make it, like, I'll make it, but it'll be 21 days in a hotel is hard.
It has to be tough. Like right now, our guys here, like we had some sailors had to do inspections in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So in Hawaii, but in Everett, Washington.
Yeah.
And they have to stay in the room for 14 days before they go out and do the inspection. 14 days, dude, in a room. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, you can only FaceTime but so much. You can only YouTube but so much. I guess you're going to be doing a lot of binge watching. You kind of stuck to whatever food the hotel got for you. It's a lot of, It's tough, man. I know a lot of the workout guys, wanted to work out. So we kind of urging our guys to make sure they have something, whether it be workout videos, yoga mats, and stuff like that. That I don't know. That's just crazy and tough, man. But what about you read the article on San Diego Union Tribune about the Rushmore?
Yeah, I did read a little bit about that, man.
All right, so before we even talk about it, I want to acknowledge that it's an article. So what we're about to talk about is what we read in the article, right? Meaning that some of this stuff we're about to talk about might not be as it happened, But the commentary that we're about to kind of provide is based off the article that we read and understand. So any new developments, anything touchy, personal to, you, if you're listening, we don't know that. All we know is what we read in the article. And in accordance with the article, it's a crazy story.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. 'Cause I know bits and pieces of it.
Yeah.
What's your take on what you read?
All right, I'm gonna give you the facts, and then we could talk. Right?
Yeah.
The Rushmore. Right? They saying it's the CO ordered the crew to sequester for 28 days prior to a 7-day underway. Right?
Yeah.
So normally, people quarantining are doing stuff for like 14 days, maybe 21 days, but it's 28 days, right? It says it would have taken them from Thanksgiving through Christmas. So the crew, they had like Thanksgiving off, and then they got called back. And then it was announced that they were going to sequester. And after they were told they had Thanksgiving off, apparently, like the captain's bosses or whatever is saying that this was announced before it was approved. So before the leadership knew it was happening, this was announced. So some background information on this command is they failed 2 light-off assessments, right? So after the first, why you laughing, man? Like, why you laughing, man? I'm trying to provide news as
Go ahead, man.
you know what I'm saying? So they failed 2 light-off assessments. The chain got fired after the first one failed, right? That's not foreign to us. Chains being fired, especially after failed assessments. They had a COVID outbreak that took down more than 100 crew members, many of them engineers, people that play a vital part during those light-off assessments. And to my knowledge, they were getting underway, I think, for the 3rd assessment that they can't fail, or they were preparing for that 3rd assessment. And the CO just didn't really want to take any chances. So that's the story that I know about what happened on the Rushmore.
Man, that's crazy, man. But breaking news. They just passed their LOA though.
Oh my.
I do want to, acknowledge that they passed their LOA. But yeah, man. That's crazy, man. Like one thing that we know as being leaders or being anything, man, is that we need sailors, man. We need these sailors to be, at tip top, ready to perform type stuff. If you telling me that I'm now about to miss Thanksgiving and roll into Christmas, oh my goodness, man. And then it's not. Now I don't know. I'm not there, so I don't know all the stuff about it and everything. But you telling me that I just found out that I'm now about to miss all this stuff?
Yeah. In the house.
You know how hard it is.
Your house.
You know how hard that is. You know how hard that is for a chief petty officer right there that stand up in front of your division trying to explain.
Right. Yeah.
And then one thing about it, once it's put down from the top, it's put down from the top. That's coming out of my mouth. I'm not telling
you guys.
I'm not saying, oh, the CO said this. No, this is what's going to happen, and that's it, right? That's how we're gonna put it out to the command. But
you guys,
they have to have a big pill to swallow.
You guys probably think you know about it already after that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most definitely. But that's stuff we eat all the time, though, right? We eat that stuff all the time, man. Like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's about to happen. That's it. It is what it is, man. We got to go out there and get it knocked out. We got to go out and get it.
Yeah, you got.
And we do. We get through it, and things like that. But that Rushmore, that article, I don't know the facts and all that stuff. But if it happened like that, that was a rough one, man.
Yeah.
That was rough.
You know how
that's all I'm gonna say.
Out.
If anybody on the Rushmore, want to come on the pod,
come talk to us
and talk about that. Come on the pod and talk about it, man. Like we
the Rushmore.
I know some guys out there.
The Rushmore and the TR as well. I would love to talk to a seller from the TR just to see. I love to listen to a seller from the TR. A lot of heartbreak from the TR recently. So I would love to listen to a solo from that command. I know they're employed right now, and then they'll be employed for a while until like April or something like that. But I would love to listen to a solo from the TR. But yeah, man, back to the Rushmore, man. That's just crazy, man. So if you were the CEO, I mean, what would you do?
If I was what?
The CEO, what would you do?
I think the proper things was already done, right? Like one thing about it, and I hate to see this, I hate to see it happen, like the chain get fired and all this type of stuff. And I can't really say what I will do because I don't know the facts. I don't know what happened down there, why they filling all these LOAs and all this stuff, right? But what I do know is if you fail a couple of LOAs, the chain is probably gone. Probably more than the chain a lot of times, though. Normally, it's like the top snipe probably gone, MPA probably gone. I mean, it's a lot more to it. So we don't know all the information. I don't know all that stuff, but
that chain job is hard, man. That's a hard job.
Yeah, it is a hard job. Very hard.
Any chain that made it through the duration of your term, I give you a shout out. You did it.
And normally you do 2 tours too. Normally you do 2 tours of a chain duty, boy.
Yeah, that's
some people do 2 tours anyway. So
especially
if you
them cruisers,
do there, man. Big shots out, man, because there's most definitely a lot of stuff goes on in a chain tour, not just the plant. You got either a diesel or you got gas turbines, then you got the DC side, then you got the auxiliary side, then you got the electrical side. You got a lot of stuff going on board that ship that the whole crew needs.
Yeah.
The whole crew needs the stuff that you got going on. So if something not working on there, it's a bad look for you. So a chain is a tough job. But one thing about a good chain that we both know, if you are a team guy, you can rally the troops and you can get everybody going. Those are the type of chains that's most of the time successful because, one thing about the job that you have to hate, the chain ain't turning no wrenches, right? Mm-hmm. So the chain has to make sure that he puts his sailors in the best position to win.
And for clarity, right? That you for clarity purposes, you saying that because it might be some chain listening like, hey, I've turned a wrench or 2 before. For clarity, you pretty saying that the role of the chain is not like primarily focused on doing the work.
Working and stuff. No.
You know what I'm saying? So for all the chains out there that turned the wrench or 2 or push the button, we love you guys. We know you guys still, do the handiwork. Don't feel bad. We know you guys do the handiwork, but that's not your primary role and responsibility, and we understand that too. So,
yeah, and that's what I mean by. I mean, I'm not meaning like you guys won't do work or anything like that.
But sometimes
you're not working on no DC stuff though. When on my ship, you ain't working on no DC stuff. I can tell you that right now.
So sometimes you got.
But I'm going to tell you when the stuff is good to go.
Yeah, I can't say that because my recent chain figured out something electrical that was like it was easy, but it was boggling our brains, so I can't even talk that. I don't want them to be listening and be like, I can't say you're not working on that.
You're probably laughing right now. You're going to be laughing.
Yeah,
I got it.
He figured something out. Yeah, Chain Lido came through. I'm like, all right. It is what it is.
What he said?
Yo, he came through. It was so
you gotta give some love, man.
We would never, like what it was that was messed up, I would have never expected it to be messed up. After it got to me, it was just a knob, and he moved it over.
Yeah,
it was just a knob. Oh man, Chain Lido.
I tell you, those are the type of thing that's a big deal for me though. Like I had on one of my ships, man, I had an MPA, man, and me and him had this tally up on the ship, like the things that he got right and the things that I got right. So every time we had an argument, he'll be like MPA 1.
Oh yeah.
He'll be like MPA 1, C in Chief 0. Or if I was into something, he'll be like C in Chief 1, MPA 0. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was good vibes, and what we had going on right there, man. But at the same time, we acknowledged when we were wrong and we was right.
That's always good to go. Great. The last thing I want to say about a COVID before we get off of it is it echoes your sentiment. I wrote this down actually. It gets weird when people tailor it to their mission, there are a lot of gray areas, right? So that's what I wrote down. A couple of things that, like you stated when you talked about it, is that it was solely your opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's a couple of things that I know. I know that the Navy is diverse, and I know that the mission is diverse, and I know that different ships have different missions, and I know that we have to, fulfill whatever we have to fulfill in our missions on a daily basis, and that's different throughout the fleet, throughout the ship class, throughout whatever. I know that. However, I think that it's not enough standard practices when it comes to COVID. I think controlling COVID, combating COVID, it's too much. It's too many gray areas left for COs to interpret, right? And I'm not putting this on COs as in COs are doing anything wrong. I just think it's a lot of across the board stuff that I think we could do better that we don't do. And I think that's just Navy wide. Nothing's the same. I'm sure on the East Coast, they probably doing things completely different than the West Coast. So I also understand that COVID is different in different places, but if you want the same waterfront, I believe everybody should be following the same protocol.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's happening. I think we're leaving too much up to interpretation. It's too loose.
Yeah.
So same thing like you said about COVID. Last thing is a quick hit about the ESWS program changes, right? Can you outline those changes?
Well, I give a couple of them. I tell you what I would do. You can add to it if you want to, but I give out what I think and what I know that I like about the program. What I like about it, right? And one of the things that I like about it is the fact of the E3 and below, man. That's one of the biggest things I think that I like about it. Because and I say it because I was in charge of ESWS program, right, on board the ship. And one thing I do know, man, a lot of times, instead of an E3 and below on there trying to learn their trade and learn their job and what they need to be doing, they are spending most of their time worried about ESWS. ESWS, your enlisted surface warfare pen, is time consuming, right? It is a big deal. You got to go in, probably depends on what ship you're on, 7 or 8 different warfare areas, trying to learn different things about different rates to get this pen.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the fact that E3 and below, they cannot, they cannot pursue the ESWS pen. I like the fact that E4 has to be certain criteria for E4 to do it, right? EP and things like that. So I like that part of it.
Right.
And what I really, really, really love, that you have to be 301 to 312.
Yeah.
Qualified damage control before you can pursue it. Man, that's good, because that I think that's something that we talked about on board the last ship I was on. We talked about it. We never did it.
Yeah.
Right. We never did it. And I felt like our DC kind of fell off because it wasn't nothing to make people like go out their way to get these quals. It's just something that a chief had to be in his division and say, hey, push through, get these quals. But now, in order to get your ESWS pen, we know everyone has to get it in your career. If you're on a surface platform, eventually you're going to have to get this pen, meaning you're going to have to get at least 312 qualified.
So
investigator. So that's the deal. I think those 3 things right there is pretty big for me.
So when do the junior sellers understand that this is a good thing?
It's gonna take a little bit, right? And the reason why it's gonna take a little bit, because now you have people at commands right now that's out there that's E3s that has their pen, and now all of a sudden we have cut that off and can't nobody get them. So it's some people that's out there right now that has just got their pen.
Yeah.
And now I can see E3 and below right now getting mad about it. Oh, why can't you get mine? Why can't you get mine? But I'm telling you that eventually everyone is going to see the benefit of this new program and how it's going to affect and I hope that everybody take advantage of this now, knowing that they don't have to worry about that right now.
So
Right now, they don't have to worry about
so how you racking and stacking these two sellers on a ranking board? And I'm talking about the seller with the pen, the E4 that's not 312, or the E3 that already got it, that's already kind of got it, versus the E3 that doesn't have it. Are you looking at like who got more in rate quals, who got more DC quals? How you racking and stacking them? How much weight is that ESWAS spend?
Well, I tell you what, right now, I don't rack and stack that ESWAS pen no more for E3 and below. I would not rack and stack because now I know when a sailor doesn't have the opportunity, I can't rack and stack.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I can no longer use that in my ranking anyway. I don't know how other people are doing it, but for me personally, I wouldn't rack and stack that anymore. Yeah. DC quals, I'm always going to play a part with me because that it's not a requirement for that. You still can get your, as an E3 and below, you still can get your, 312 if you wanted to. Yeah. So that's not a thing, but quals play a big part in what they're doing in the work. I think E3 and below, man, to me, I think they should get they rating stuff should be more of what we racking and stacking when it comes to 3M, when it comes to DC, and it comes to what they doing on the deck plates every day.
Yeah, learn
what they job, which is maintenance.
Learn your rate, learn your rate, learn your job, learn DC, do your rate, do your job. Fight fires, control casualties, and then get your ESWAS pen. Not saying that it's any less important than it ever was, or not saying its significance or the history behind it, loses any light, but like learn your job first. And we've seen it. I've seen it firsthand where the ESWAS or the air warfare gets in the way of in-rate quals, or gets in the way of a seller being motivated for in-rate quals. Because a lot of times the ESWAS, a lot of commands have had it where ESWAS might have had a bearing on a liberty status or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
so
most definitely.
It's always good to see the Navy get it right. And I think this change is the Navy getting it right. The junior sellers, I don't think they'll see that yet. But I think they'll see it in about 2 to 3 years.
It's funny you said that, though, before we move on. It's funny you said that because I got my ESWAS while I was cranking, right? And my CMC put out, if you had your ESWAS pen, you were E3 and below, you didn't have to crank. So I actually got took out. When I say cranking, I mean I'm doing, working for the food service division, which is the CSs, the cooks. So when I was doing it, I don't know how many days I did, but once I got ESWAS qualified, I got pulled from doing it. Back in my division. So it was an incentive for people to get it then. So that's what it is, man.
So you ain't do the whole 90?
Nah, man. I ain't have to do the whole 90, man.
Did it?
And then on top of that, though, to say I didn't do the whole 90 is that it was never about me doing the job of the FSA. I loved it.
Yeah.
Right? I love doing it. But you know how it is, man. You give me that opportunity to get this, and that's what I did. I freaking put a whole lot of work in trying to get it. And this is at a time when I got it that, man, those freaking, you had to be in front of all those chiefs and you had to do walkthroughs with them. And it was very brutal, man, to get that pen. So when I got it, it was a big deal, man. It was a huge accomplishment for me.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you remember who the president was when you got your ESWAS pen? What's up, man?
Oh no, man. Hold up. Let me think. Probably a freaking Bush. Probably. I don't know.
Which which one?
I don't know, man. You make me looking that up now, man. Cause I don't know. I forgot.
Yeah, let us know, man. Let us know. Hey, so
I will.
more history, more American history. The book that I got for the week, American Revolution by Robert McDonald. That's the
Yeah.
book. It's about the revolution. It's about the fathers of our country. George Washington is in there. Thomas Jefferson is in there, and a lot of people. There's a lot of people from history that did some important stuff in the aspect of American history and what the country as a whole was built off. Robert McDonald does a really, not Ronald McDonald for anybody wondering. Robert McDonald does a really good job at having a normal conversation about American history and making it palatable. I was doing a lot of reading about African history, the experience of Africans when they were brought over to America. I read the autobiography of Frederick Douglass. I read the complete history of racism. I read a few books about African history, and I wanted to see some of the parallels that it had with the formation of America as we know it to be today. Um, I wanted to see some of the parallels that nowadays have with those days. So some of the things that was happening when we were on deployment, when America was at some social unrest, was buildings were being uh, vandalized, our statues were being ripped down from their foundations, and I knew a lot of those things happened back in the days of the revolution, but I wanted to get more clarity on how those things were happening. And I read it, with things like the Boston Tea Party and like the King ripping down of King George's statues. Like when people didn't agree with what somebody was putting out, they ripped down their statues. So that wasn't like it wasn't a new concept, this year. And I just wanted to remind myself of what America was built off in 2020. For some reason, I just felt like the Revolution book was a good book to read in a year like 2020. And I learned a lot of cool facts about Thomas Jefferson and Grant and a lot of our other forefathers. You know what I'm saying? I also learned about the dudes from Carolina that was like, yo, if you take slavery out of this thing, we don't got nothing to do with this. I think that was I don't want to get the Carolina wrong, but one of the Carolinas didn't do it, but the other one did. Is if you take slavery, you keep them slaves in that thing, man. If you take them out, well, I think Thomas Jefferson was trying to, make all men, equal. And these guys was like, nah, that ain't about to happen. So they hurried up and edited that. So yes, Revolution, really good book. Some really important people. But Robert McDonald is the true star here with his seamless way of explaining something that some people might find hard to listen to and hard to get into. Is very informative and very entertaining. So American Revolution by Robert McDonald, please check it out. A good book to read coming off of a year like this.
Yeah. Sounds good, man. For me, I don't have a book this week. I finished up 48 laws of the 48 laws, but I don't want to talk about it. I finished it. It's a good book. Everybody know about it and talked about it for like 2 episodes straight. But I want to move on, man. I want to get to the movie, man.
I'm gonna be straight with you, man. I don't got that much for Pearl Harbor, man. But let me tell you the reasons that I never watched Pearl Harbor, right?
So you never ever watched it?
No, never watched it.
Okay, go ahead. What you got?
Cuba Gooding is a scumbag, man. Let's just start right there. Cuba Gooding. Like I wish where's Saw at? Well, I need Saw to like put a picture of Cuba Gooding on his way up to the courtroom, like right here. No,
when he came out of there, man. Remember that smile as he came out?
Cuba Gooding played some great roles. Good actor. He played Dory Miller in the movie. He did a great job at that role. Speaking of Cuba Gooding as an actor, he played in a lot of memorable roles. Things that I really like: Boys in the Hood, Radio, his role here, stuff like that. I never watched the movie because it was a Michael Bay film and it was supposed to be serious, and I can't take Michael Bay serious. And then I always heard it was more of a love story than a war movie. So I know we talked about watching it, and that's normally what we do. If people don't know, we don't just have this repository of movies. We kind of talk about watching these movies, and then we watch them, no matter how nerve-wracking or bad the movies are. I just couldn't make myself to watch the movie Pearl Harbor, so I apologize, Damon. I couldn't watch that movie, and I think I'm all the more better for not watching it.
Probably, you are probably right.
Thank you.
So I watched it. I tell you what, first I had to split up in segments because I fell asleep on it the first time, right? So I was watching it, and to me, when I think about Pearl Harbor, I think about everything. First time I first watched, I'm thinking, man, it's going to be a lot of action in this movie, a lot of stuff going on. I'm telling you, the first hour, and this movie is long. I'm telling you, like, I don't know exactly, and you guys can look this up, but it's probably over 2 hours long.
Yeah, it's over 2 hours.
Like, over 2 hours long, and it is long, right? Probably the first hour, you ain't finna see that much action in the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's no crap, a love story. I thought the whole time, that's what I'm thinking about. Like, this is a love story, right? And then it did get to the fighting and stuff that was going on and all that type of stuff, which was okay, the fighting and stuff. But this is what got me in the whole movie, man. This got me, man. Like, so the dude that's played by what the character name, man? The guy played Batman now. What is that?
Yeah. Let me do that real quick. Michael Bay is the director. Kate Beckinsale, my is in this movie. Ben Affleck, Josh Hartnett, Cuba Gooding. I never saw the movie, so I know them people from the previews. If anybody else big is in this movie, maybe like Tom Sizemore is in like every war movie that he's not billed in. So maybe Tom Sizemore was in this thing too. But I know for sure it was a Ben Affleck, Josh Hartnett, Kate Beckinsale, Cuba Gooding, and it was a Michael Bay film. So you talk about Ben.
So Ben Affleck character goes off to this little special program or whatever. He's trying to be great, right? He's trying to go out and do great things. And he had one of his best friends from childhood. He was in the army with him or whatever. But everybody think he's dead. Like he got shot down, and they think he's dead. His friend that he grew up with then jumped on his girl.
Oh, man.
So now they love each other, right? I don't know how much time in between on all this stuff.
Like some.
She was a nurse. She was a nurse. Then end up Ben Affleck ain't dead. So he comes back in the picture again, and now there's this whole triangle going on.
This sounds like vampires.
They doing it's all crazy. Then they have to go out and do this special mission together, right? So they do this special mission together, and his best friend died.
Oh, man.
Now Ben Affleck comes back, get back with her, and now she was pregnant for his friend.
Oh, man. This Love and Hip Hop you talk about? Pearl Harbor.
That's what I'm getting at, man. So this whole big triangle going on in the middle of the movie that's called Pearl Harbor. Are you serious right now?
Was this historically accurate?
Pearl Harbor, man. All this stuff that happened in Pearl Harbor, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they live, forever after.
Oh.
At the end of the movies. So you got your little war in there, here and there. They drop some bombs and all that type of stuff. Made some of the dumbest moves in wartime history, where you got something you're supposed to be 400 miles away, but you're gonna go 600 miles out, knowing you ain't gonna have enough fuel to make it back or do anything. So you pretty much So you went on a suicide mission.
Yeah.
That you wasn't gonna make it back and stuff. Yeah, it was crazy, man.
This is supposed.
It was a crazy movie. I will give it a. It was bad, man. But I probably have to give it a. Man, I guess I give it a 2, man.
Hey.
That's a hard 2.
I'm not gonna rate it. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite, so I'm not gonna rate it because I never saw it. My expectation of it, I am gonna rate my expectation. My expectation is a 1 out of 5. Where Jesse at? Where you at, Jesse? My expectation of this movie is a 1 out of 5.
But I'm here to tell you this though. Hey, I want to real briefly talk about another movie that I saw a couple days ago.
Yeah. Talk about it. Hold on. Let talk about it. What you got?
Well, no, the movie is the Tenet.
Yeah.
Now, if you want, I know you know all these movie things, so you probably can go who is in it and all that stuff. So you can go ahead.
I'm gonna go real quick, and I have to because it's the great Christopher Nolan. I'm a big fan of Christopher Nolan. I'm biased. I'm Christopher Nolan biased too, so I'll admit that before I even review this movie. I'm biased to Christopher Nolan. He got like probably 2 to 3 of my favorite movies ever. And not the top 3, but 2 or 3. Dark Knight being one of them. The Dark Knight Rises is also really good. Memento is up there. Interstellar is one of my favorite movies. I think Inception, The Prestige is one of my favorite movies. It's somewhere in that list. I think Inception and Dunkirk might be lower on my Chris Nolan list than any of his other movies. And then John David, Denzel's son. So we not talk about Denzel, but we can talk about his son. Robert Pattinson was in this movie as well. And of course, Michael Caine, who's in all of Christopher Nolan's movies, just explaining the complicated concepts and theories to the protagonists. So before I talk about it, because I'm biased already, let me hear what you got to say.
So first off, man, let me tell you this. I didn't finish watching it again, but in my mind, I have to watch it again. Right. I started watching it again and didn't finish, but I have to watch it twice throughout because it had me all over the place. It made me like no crap think about what's going on, right? And then at the end, there's so many different little signals in that movie that's gonna take you back to, oh, what was that? Oh, what is this? It had me no crap thinking, man. This is probably one of my better movies that I didn't watch in a long time, man. Like just from a standpoint of me thinking, I was always engaged in the movie. It was no lax point where I wasn't thinking like, oh man, because I knew from the beginning of it, everything was leading to something else and something else. So it had you thinking like that. You didn't want to miss nothing. You always want to be locked in on what was going on. The actor wise, Denzel's son, man, was a couple parts of that, man, where he sounded like Denzel. I ain't gonna lie. I'm sorry to bring up Denzel. Man, he sounded like Denzel a couple times in that movie. No shit. But man, it was a good movie, man. I don't know, like, the directors and stuff like that, like you know them, but
you saw the Dark
Knight.
You saw the movie The Dark Knight, right?
Yeah. But it's a good movie, yeah.
You saw Inception?
But I just want to say this movie was a real good movie, man. And I'm not gonna tell you what I'm gonna give it yet. After I listen to you go ahead. But if I'm here to tell you to all the listeners out there, and I ain't gonna lie, I paid $21 to see this movie on this day. $21. So, but I think it's worth it though. I think the movie is worth going to see. It's worth buying or whatever you have to do to watch it. It's worth it, man. It's a really, really good movie. Go ahead, man.
So I think I think Chris Nolan makes movies to watch twice. I think that's the kind of movies he make where you kind of have to watch them twice. I think he also, I'll talk about a critique that Chris Nolan movies get, especially with Inception and Interstellar and now this movie Tenet. One of the biggest critiques I've seen is about exposition. And it's just about like a lot of the movie being an explanation of the movie, even though it's a super complicated thing that's hard to get anyway, where you could probably just use action sequence or something to explain this whole theory or concept that 9 times out of 10 people might not follow anyway. I agree with that critique. However, I like the idea of having to think while watching a movie. It's engaging. Like I gotta watch. I gotta keep my eyes on this to understand what's going on. So I like that. My negative critique of the movie is the sound editing, right? In my opinion, you gotta use subtitles if you want to watch this movie and get the full effect. And actually, first off, a lot of the concepts are hard to understand, but then the audio is hard to understand as well. So you're not going to even know what they're saying unless you take the time out to read it. I want to say that authenticity is the reason why Chris Nolan does this, to where like the levels of the audio levels of the surroundings and stuff like that, it get in the way of people as they're walking and stuff like that. Different tones change, and it adds realism to the movie. A lot of movie makers go and they dub over the vocals after they film. They go to a studio and redo their vocals, and then they lay the vocals over the actual footage. I'm not sure if Nolan does that or if he just used the vocals that's shot on a scene. It sounds like he does, because you can hear the background in his movies, or then you got Hans Zimmer doing the orchestration and stuff like that. So if I was to give it any negative hit, it would be that it's hard to understand. And I get it being focused on realism, but it's also a movie that's made to entertain at some point in time. That's why people are watching it, especially when it's of a concept that's not a realistic concept. The acting was spot on. Robert Pattinson did a great job. All the supplementary actors did a great job. John David, ready to see him in more stuff. I mean, I feel like that was his coming out party as a star in Hollywood. And I feel like Denzel could kind of pass him the torch. I feel like after the Spike Lee movie he did that they won the Oscar for as far as the script. And now in this one, I feel like it was Black Klansman. Yeah, I feel like they could, he's a formidable guy to take, especially with Chadwick, who passed away recently, who was also one of the guys kind of following Denzel's footsteps to me. I feel like John David is a worthy replacement of that Denzel kind of limelight. The concept to me is crazy. It's super complicated and really ambitious. And it's one of them things that I'm amazed to see somebody, because Chris Nolan writes the movie. Him and his brother writes these movies too. So I'm just amazed to see somebody be able to write something like this and then be able to let it play out on a movie screen as well. It's crazy to think about that. I'm happy that we still have minds in Hollywood like Christopher Nolan that's willing to challenge the viewers and stuff like that, no matter how clunky it gets with information. I like the ambition, and for the ambition, I'm always going to give the movie more points. So I give it a 4 out of 5. I wouldn't say it's a perfect movie, but it got me up out my seat like 2 times. Some of the things that happen on screen by the end of the movie, when the things start happening the other way, and that's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to give any spoilers to any of the listeners, got me up out my seat. Like I was shocked that, oh man, that was this happening. That's when this happened. Specifically, it got something to do. It got something to do with the woman character. Something happened later in the movie with her that got me up out my seat. Like, damn, like for real or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they actually crashed a real airplane into it. That wasn't a fake airplane. That wasn't no special effects. That was a real airplane crashing into a real building. So a lot of that stuff I do got a lot of respect for. 4 out of 5. Really good movie, classic. It might hit 5 out of 5. The more I watch it, it might stay a 4 out of 5. But right now it's a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Nice.
Right. So that's what I'm gonna give it, man. It was a real good movie, man. So yeah, I'm with it, man. I'm gonna finish watching it again too. So it's a good movie.
Yeah, I like it, man. Hey, man, that wraps us up, man. Our first remote podcast. If you listen all the way through, I think we probably started a little rough. I don't know. I don't know. We'll listen back. But our first remote podcast. Thanks for your patience waiting on an episode. Thanks for your patience listening to us for 2 hours and some change. And we love you guys. We'll see you guys. We will not end without a year-end wrap-up. We will not end 2020 without a year-end wrap-up. We got some things in store. We want to talk about sexual assault awareness, but we want to have the right conversation about that. And for everybody that's asking and wondering why we didn't do it yet, we didn't do it yet because we have not been able to have the right conversation about. We want to cover every aspect of that conversation that we can cover. So I'm done with this. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Over to Damon.
All right, guys. This is Permission to Speak Freely. And I'm Damon.
I'm Damo. Peace.
I'll let you guys, man. Peace.